But now as we look back at asylum, we're saying we got 40 people with 50,000 people coming in the door. Think of a football stadium, okay? Think of a football stadium full of people coming at us each year. You're saying that these people do interviews, background checks, write-ups, and they're not able to do that 8 hours a day. They got other responsibilities, paperwork they've got to do. Here's the problem. Here's what I experienced. When I went to Arizona and I saw people come across and they wanted to claim credible fear, they would go to a judge and say, an administrative judge, and say, Your Honor, you know, I got credible fear, and they'd read a little statement, and then the judge would say, well, okay, we're going to have to go through the adjudication process. And that adjudication process means what? What in Arizona is the next time we're going to see these people?
Yeah, that's the ordinary asylum process, and it is a number of, quite a number of months before there's...
You mean years? Years?
It can be years, yes.
Okay, so in Arizona, when I went there, last year, I believe it was last year, the dates they were giving out, the court date, was for 2020. And so what often happens is the people have come here illegally, they claim asylum, they say, oh, you might have credible fear, we're going to give you a court date, and now the backlog is so big that they're not going to get a court date until 2020. And then what happens? They do what? They apply for a work permit. How many work permits are you handing out each year?
I don't know the exact number. I certainly can.
It's a big one. Now they're in the United States legally. They can work and they can compete with an American taxpayer for jobs and all the other resources. They get benefits. They go to our schools. They do a lot of things just like an American citizen does. And I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that. Mr. Burson, did you want to say something?
Sir, when the last time we had the surge in the summer of 14, the administration put a bill up, and one of the key elements of that bill was to build an immigration court system that actually would work, because you've put your finger on the problem. We have 243 immigration judges, and we need many more in order for an immigration process to work and produce the result either way, but to produce a result in a timely fashion.
And the frustration is you got to lock down that border, and you got to get rid of the people who are here committing crimes, for goodness sake. They're here illegally committing crimes, and you all release them back out in the public. Some 60+ thousand times you did that. These are the criminal element. Don't tell me about the nice, lady who's just trying to help her family. These are people committing crimes, get caught, they get convicted, they're in your hands, and Homeland Security says, no, go back out into the community. Right? Am I wrong? Did I say anything that's wrong there?
Again, to be clear, the removal priorities are that if an individual is convicted of a felony, they are a priority one for removal. Returning to our earlier conversation, that includes rape. That is a priority one priority for removal.
So if they commit a rape, maybe get pled down. Am I wrong on the number two? If they plead down to, say, sexual abuse and exploitation, that's not good enough?
If the person if their top count of conviction is rape, which is a serious felony, then in that case they
But sexual abuse is not?
Sexual abuse may not necessarily be rape. So in fact, in the criminal law,
but it might, right?
Certainly as a prosecutor, I've seen people pled down to sexual abuse, if that's the point you're trying to make. So let's be clear about that. What sexual abuse actually means in the criminal law is not rape.
So based on the Homeland Security Directive from Secretary Johnson, if you commit and are convicted of sexual abuse or exploitation, that is priority two. I think it's a little bit of an overstatement to say, hey, refugees are not your problem. Let me go back to the slide I brought up at the beginning, and this is a deep concern to me. These are the number of people making credible fear, and so refugees are imported to the United States of America. You have people who are claiming asylum who come somehow to the United States of America. You can come here legally and lawfully, but you can also sneak into the country, as I witnessed down on the Arizona border where people came across the border. They didn't run from Border Patrol. They wanted to get caught. And the reason they wanted to get caught is they wanted to go through this process. And so, Mr. Rodriguez, I want to ask you about this. This is a massive rise in the number of people claiming a credible fear with asylum. How many asylum officers are there at Homeland Security?
The asylum corps, give or take, is approximately 400 individuals.
So you have 400 individuals, and in fiscal year 2014, we had 51,001 people claiming credible fear.